Hey everybody, it's Bust with Busted Strategies number 21. Jumping into another Premier Hunt. Premier Hunt. Yeah, there we go. Premier Hunt draft. The most premier of drafts. Let's get to it. Curious when these are going to switch over to the bot drafts. It's been taking it longer and longer to fill up. So it surprises me to a degree, but nonetheless, we'll sit through a couple of these, I guess. We can talk about the goings on in the world, the struggles of football, Chiefs winning, a fantasy team's losing, Tom Brady, all kinds of things. So, all right, interesting pack. So there is the Celestis. I'm never like amped about this. If it's like pick three and this is our first pick, then kind of whatever. Or pack three, but I usually want something that either like higher powered or removal spell or something that gives our deck like a bit of direction. And none of those are things that like the Celestis does. Like we could look to draft, white red or white or blue red or something to really take advantage of that. But I just don't think like the decks actually live here with that. And so actually with this one, I'm looking at taking the Thermo-Alchemist. Is like the Thermo-Alchemist better than Organ Hoarder? Like in the right deck, I could see an argument from where the Thermo-Alchemist is better. But I think this is like a reasonably safe pick. Like if you're ever going to end up in like black or in, or I'm sorry, if you're going to end up in like blue red or black red, then you most certainly want to have Thermo-Alchemists. Realistically, I'm gonna take it here just to kind of see what comes together for the likes of a video. I think the pick is probably just Organ Hoarder, but let's see how these play out. This is not the payoff we're looking for when it comes to picking up red cards. We're really hoping for the red cards to go deep, and these are some real turds. So with this one, I'm just going to take the Nebelgast Intruder. If we do end up in blue-red, then the Intruder is fine. I mean, I could kind of see an argument for picking up a Vampire Interloper if we want to end up in black-red, but I think at the end of the day, the Nebelgast Intruder is just a little bit more powerful. And then if this just doesn't quite come together, then the Interloper isn't as big of a loss. And so I think this is fine. Let's see if the anything else makes its appearance here. Oh, I thought this was that random like Platinum Angel kind of angel thing that keeps you from losing the game. It is not. And so yeah, this is really brutal. Like taking a shot on red and then just having no red cards show up. But with this, like, it's tough. I think like I'm looking at Locked in the Cemetery. It's certainly not a good place for that. But we like otherwise we're just kind of either. I mean, I guess Bait Hook Angler could be a thing. We could look to draft blue white. This would actually be a nice collection of cards if we just started out with the Organ Hoarder, right? The Angler, the Intruder, and the Alchemist, or the Angler, the Intruder, and the Organ Hoarder. But I think this is okay. Gives us a little more direction than just picking up Locked in the Cemetery. We end up in blue-red. We don't even want Locked in the Cemeteries anyways, so it just feels bad if you're out here taking taking Bait Hook Anglers with your third pick. But I mean, this is kind of more of the same. The white cards do appear to be somewhat open. If we're going to be drafting white, I would prefer to just be coming out here and just taking more disturb units. So I'm looking towards the Bait Hook Anglers. This has just been like a a horrible time to just open with the Thermo Alchemist. So I think this is okay. I mean, there's medium quality like zombie cards rolling through. Falcon Abomination is a little bit more than medium quality, but I don't like jumping into blue-black unless we've already started off with removal spells. And so I'll go with the Angler. Not really jazzed about this stuff. This has just been like the actual worst red cards ever. But I think we can take the Revenge of the Drowned. Reasonable enough removal spell here. And Thermo Alchemist. Maybe it is open though. Maybe red is open, but we just aren't seeing the cards as the Geistflame Reservoir comes back around. I think this can make me feel like we're okay. The Reservoir is quite good, being able to do this exile thing and then sort of draw a bunch of cards every turn. Maybe all is not lost. There is the Arcane Infusion. Can't table it at this point unless it's our last pick. We'll be finding like a Ritual Guardian or something with the last one, but maybe this is here. All right, we're in. We're in. And so as we move forward with these, we'll just take the Silver Bolt. The Mysterious Tome, I don't feel like really belongs in a deck like this. It's just like if we're looking for a late game kind of grindy style card, we can get that out of the Reservoir. And so I'm just going to pick up the Silver Bolts. Doesn't help us out with the, play a bunch of spells theme, but I think it's okay. All right, so here, curious how much we'd actually be able to play out of the graveyard. Like, I don't want to be playing Electric Revelation. The big flashback spell we're looking for is the thing that generates the elementals. But the Ominous Roost can be quite good. And we already have these like 2 bait hook anglers as well. Let's just go for it. Maybe maybe this is going to happen with these cards being out here. Okay, well, probably not. We can try and make Neonate's Rush work. I mean, it's an instant, and it replaces itself, so I'm not completely opposed to it. Here, Flip the Switch is a reasonable card, but I'm going to go with the Larder Zombie. This is a nice little board stall unit for a deck that needs to generate some time. With these, we picked up a Flip the Switch anyways. I don't like Shipwreck Sifters unless I'm playing like a dedicated, what are these called? Disturb deck. So we'll let that one go. Jesus, that's a late Gavany Trapper. But, alrighty, we got our blue-red thing going on, though. We got it going on. All right. Just been nutsos in the blue-black. These packs are so bad. Like, I guess it is a function of, why red just isn't good in this format, because these cards are just turds. But the Scab Wrangler is an extremely high-quality card, even if we don't have too many of the go-wide zombie generation kind of cards. The Scab Wrangler is still just exceptionally good. Oh, what a dumb looking deck. This would have all just been completely reasonable if we had started with the if we started with the Organ Hoarder and just drafted like blue black or blue white. All right, I'm in though. I feel like we've got our Geistflame Reservoir. We just got to be in on it at this point. And so with this, I think I'm looking towards just going with the Falcon Abomination. There is Burn the Accursed, and we don't have any removals. Maybe we're just stuck taking this at this point. Like, our only removal is the Neonate's Rush and kind of a Revenge of the Drowned. Feels so brutal. This feels like a card we ought to be able to get, like, 9th or 10th pick. I'm going to come out here and take these higher quality blue cards, and then hope that just something like Burn the Accursed tables. Okay, well, here's the big payoff for Burn the Accursed. We got the Flame Channeler here. This works if we can find some damage spells to try and take advantage of these with. Okay, red cards. Okay. Got to double check what the Bloodthirsty Adversary even does. So when you put the counters on it, you exile instants or sorceries out of your graveyard that cost 3 or less, and then you just get to play them. It's a pretty good deal. Also a vampire for our Neonates Rushes. Okay. We got to get some payoff for drafting these red cards. Maybe that Burn the Accursed will table. But we're going to have to place like a really high value on red cards that deal damage at this point. None of these are them. Festival Crashers is a reasonable unit. I'm kind of looking at the Consider as just a way to kind of churn through some spells, but like the Festival Crasher's got to be our premier early game play. And so I'm happy enough to pick one of those up. Not really amped about Malevolent Hermits, but having these Disturb cards is kind of nice. Just give us a little bit more reach. Okay. Rare draft. Just pick the blue-red cards and come out here and rare draft her. See how things go. Another Scab Wrangler? This is insane. As good as blue is in this format, these Scab Wranglers should not be rolling around to pick 7. But, take it. Okay, so now I feel like we need to move into actually having instants and sorceries. We have enough like early game stuff now between the bait hook anglers and these other bros. So I'm going to pick up the Startle. Also works nicely with our Scab Wranglers and Larder Zombies. And so I feel good about picking that one up. This is Shadow Beast Sighting. I don't think we're going to play any of this. We'll just pick the only red card. This just wants to be, blue black, but we have these rando red cards in here. All right, startle number 2. I mean, it works fantastically with the likes of Festival Crashers. If we could have pieced some more of these together, maybe we should have just ended up taking the Festival Crasher over the Malevolent Hermit. I don't think we should have like too much trouble picking these up, though. Jesus, Blade Stitch Scab. This is insane. People, people talk about not liking drafting against the computers because they don't know what's up. Well, this pod certainly has some choices happening. Insane. All right, we can main deck the Storm Rider Spirit for now. All right, Steelix, Skreelix, what do you do? This has to be our big win condition. Hopefully, we can table either the Cathartic Pyre or the Burn the Accursed. We didn't table the Burn the Accursed in the last pack, which was kind of a pain in the ass. We need things to go kind of right if we're going to be out here drafting blue-red. But I don't feel really confident that we can get this Storm Skreelix to table. I mean, ideally, we would be able to just take the Cathartic Pyre here and table this thing. But I ultimately worry if we don't take it, what happens? Let's just take the... I guess we can take the risk on it. So you don't have any good game enders outside of this thing. Alright, let's take the risk. Alright. We're one time dealer. You can work for us one time. These cards all suck. Ugh, are we really having to take like a component collector here? There's nothing that deals damage. We could come in and pick up the combat trick and Stolen Vitality. Not exciting. Maybe we'll wheel component collector. If we're getting like ninth pick high quality blue cards, why can't we get a really late one of those? All right, these packs are brutal. I'm not going to play Locked in the Cemetery in this kind of deck. We need our non-creature things to be instants and sorcery, so I'm going to let that one go. I'm going to come in and take the Festival Crasher since it combos pretty nicely with our Startles. So hopefully we can pick up multiple copies of this guy. Voldaren Ambusher is interesting. How many... Like, there's two things with it. It's like, how many vampires do we have? I think we just have the one in the adversary. That looks about right. And then is the 1 damage just enough anyways? I think I'm going to let it go. I'm looking at just picking up the Falcon Abomination here. Or realistically, we could just take the Revenge of the Drowned. It's like, I really like the Abomination given that we have all these Scab Wranglers, but the Revenge of the Drowned is a spell and it gives us a zombie out of it, so I think this will be okay. Happy enough with these Obsessive Astronomers. It's not too hard for these things to give us some reasonable value. We will run into these games to where we just play it on 2 and then our opponent doesn't have a 2, and then we get that cycle really early. Could look to just pick up a Neonate's Rush, though. I ultimately worry about us just having enough spells with a deck like this. And this having the cycling is quite nice. Well, I think maybe if we'd taken like that Ambusher and then we had one more of those, it would have been okay, but interesting. All right, well, I think I'm good with 2 Revenge of the Drowned, and I'm going to come in and pick up the Startle. It's going to be too tough for us to come in and pick up more of these Flame Channelers, but I think if we ended up with like 3 of them, that would have been pretty strong. Didn't happen. Oh, we got to pick 8. We got one more shot at him. Got another Startle. 4 Startle deck. All right, and then this next pick is going to be the big one. Is our dragon going to table? Okay, stop. Breathe deep. Take the Startle and dragon. Nice. Nice. Okay. At least we got the win in that sense. Tavern Ruffian. I don't think we have any 4-drops at this point, so we can add one of those to our deck. Ooh, Locked in the Cemetery did table. Okay. So yeah, I think we got the tools to win more than one game. And this is kind of my thing with this format as well. It's like you can be like so super open in this. We've been drafting blue-red. We've got what appears to be like 33 playables. Oh my god, what? Are you serious? Look at this. This is ridiculous. Somebody's going to be getting a 13th pick eaten alive. This is insane. Wow. Alrighty. I don't get it. I don't understand what's happened there. That shit won't happen drafting against the bots. I can assure you of that. Alrighty, well let's get this together. So the things that we can pull out here really quick. It's like I kind of want to hang on to this Stormrider Spirit because we can play quite a bit of draw go with a deck like this. And so I think it's okay to keep. The Ruffian can go. I'd rather play the Candle Guide than the Ruffian. I'm happy with our 4 and 5 drops now. Intruder stays. How much graveyard? We don't have enough graveyard stuff to take advantage of this Ominous Roost. Like the big important spell that we would have been looking for is this isn't going to search my collection, is it? That flashback spell that makes the Tempest that has the size equal to your instance in your graveyard in exile. We didn't see any of that, so the Ominous Roost just isn't gonna work out. Not excited about Neonate's Rush, but this is one of the few things that actually deal damage. So I think we need to hang on to it. Adversary, we're not going to play 4 Startles, but we can come back to that. This is where I'm a little upset. Like, I think we're going to take... I want to keep 1 Larder Zombie. I could actually see keeping 2 Zombies. Hang on. Let's take out Silverbolts. But, like, I think we could have really pieced together this, like, Festival Crasher Startle deck, and then... you know, generating these zombies on the side to use with our Wranglers would have been quite powerful. And I think we're just going to take the Hermit out. We're going to cut down at least 1 Bait Hook Angler. We've got to get so many cards out of here. Let's drop a Flip the Switch. Oh, there's so many, a bunch of cards down here. Stolen Vitality can go. That's a weak one. Maybe we can just take out both Larder Zombies. We're going to try to be the aggro here. We take out the Bait Hook Anglers. I think I like that. How many of these? Like, I kind of like the Larder Zombies, given that we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 zombie generators. What's our unit count? 14. we gotta stop cutting units though. So let's see if it's not an instant or a sorcery. That's going to be kind of our next thing. So let's get locked in the cemetery. And I think these are okay. Like the intruder. Candle Guide isn't spectacular here, but I think he can go. But we need to like go back to picking up creatures. Let's imagine like in an ideal world we're going to be getting some like early aggression in with these Festival Crashers. They're eventually going to stall out, and then we'll close the game with a mountain of zombies, some taps from the Scab Wranglers, and then a few points of damage from these Flyers. I think we can do all of that. All right, maybe we cut a Startle and add a unit back in. Not opposed to it being a Bait Hook Angler, but if we're going to add in, you know, a cheap unit, we're going to add in the Hermit. 14 creatures. Okay, well, I think this is about it. Yeah, I would feel a lot better with this if our early game was like Alchemist, 2 Scab Wranglers, and then like 4 Festival Crashers, and then we just had Flyers from that point forward. Like our top end Flyers aren't that bad. All right, I think this is it. This is this is it. The Startle deck. Let's get to battle. Okay, so yeah, let's get to it. Yeah, that makes me want to bring up like 2 points before we jump in. It's like I see so much, especially with Runeterra. People were talking about like what a shame it is to not draft against humans, and I think people miss the point with that, in the sense that when you tend to be drafting against like humans of an equal skill level, the formats are kind of like self-correcting as to where. You know, I think the easier place to see it is in like auto battlers, like in Teamfight Tactics, where, you know, one unit is excessively good, and then if everybody, you know, forces that one unit, then nobody gets it. And so you kind of see the same things here as well. We can, for the most part, agree that like blue and black are the best colors in the set, and so if too many people are drafting blue and black, then their quality decreases. But people usually tend to, you know, have like the the big brain problem where they think that they're smarter than everyone in the world, and they don't like playing against bot drafts or playing with things like Runeterra, where you don't get the opportunity to swing your big dick brain around and show everyone else how smart you are. And so I think this draft, though, was like, that was insane. That was completely ridiculous. There's no reason that people should be seeing like 13th pick Eaten Alives and like 12th pick Scab Zombies like that. These outliers like this completely just shoot down those people's points of view, because you will run into these drafts where completely ridiculous stuff just happens. And so, yeah, the kind of the second thing with this was, if we hadn't like kind of midway through the draft just decided we were going to draft blue red, like I was fine to get away from blue red at the start. Like, if we're being realistic, the way this draft should have gone is we should have opened with Organ Hoarder, and not the Pinger, and then whenever we got to that pack that had like Geistflame Reservoir, that was the point to where we just decided to go meme mode and draft blue red. But this would have been like an astounding blue black deck. With it, I would have felt pretty confident in 7-0ing this if we hadn't been out here playing for the memes. And so I did want to kind of call out those two things. But yeah, back to that first one. Like, ultimately, my problem with Runeterra Expedition and the lack of updates that it sees is it's not a self-correcting format, right? Whereas we talk about drafts and having here, we can keep this. We got a 2-drop and a curve of spells. We don't have like our good cards here, but I think this is okay. But it's like without the devs going in there and like maintaining the card pools and making the good ones worse and making the bad ones better, you just never it never got fixed. And so that was ultimately what was super frustrating, and those card archetypes just never getting updated, where the format can't self-correct because you have the you have the drafts against the computer. But all right, here, this is fine. I'm happy enough to go ahead and snipe off the Ecstatic Awakener. I don't think the timing works on that, where we could have got them to pay 3 mana. That would have been the more appropriate way to go for it, but I can't remember if that's how this game actually works. So, nonetheless, with this hand, I think we're safe enough. Just go ahead and add the Reservoir. Like, we can send it to Night and get the loot, but I think I'm pretty happy with like the contents of our hand. That looks like something we could end up doing next turn. So let's get the Reservoir down. No attacks. It's like he wanted to attack with the Novice Occultist. Okay. Oh boy. Alright, let's see what happens here. Definitely want to discard the Hermit. I think we need to keep the rest of them. Where's all our startles for the Festival Crasher? This doesn't work without them. Okay, well, we just have Revenge of the Drowned is all we can get out of this. It was top with it. Interesting. Okay. Get us for the big damages. Alright, well, let's start with the Reservoir. I'd like to hit a land with this if we can. And then if we don't and only have Scab Wrangler, it's not the end of the world. Okay. Sure. So we can tap the Flesh Taker, then he just hits us for 3? Not the end of the world. No, don't don't highlight the Scab Wrangler. We need things to go well with it. Shit. This is bad. It's going ham with the Opportunist now. There's the lands. Okay. We'll go to night. We'll get another cycle out of this Astronomer. And then hopefully we can do a little bit of something with Storm Rider Spirit here. We don't have real good answers to any of the stuff he's doing, though. Our removal spells are garbo. Like this is horrifically bad when you're playing like a red deck and you don't have any of the Nightfall lightning bolts in it. Like this completely goes against how we look at making good blue-red decks, or red decks, I should say. Just don't take anything early in red, and then if you start seeing Moon Knight rampages, whatever the lightning bolt card is called, like pick 5 or pick 6, then you can probably pretty safely jump in. So do we add the Skrillex here? Doesn't seem that good, but it should buy us a turn, I think. Maybe we can get the Nebelgast Intruder going after this. I'm fine to trade away the Obsessive Astronomer now. We're going to just be doing 2 cards a turn because of the Geistflame Reservoir. Then how do we feel about just blocking this with everything? He can get it, like he doesn't care about sacrificing the Silversmith or the Patrol, and that would make this a 7/7. That doesn't seem very good. We still need to block though, just so we don't take 1,000,000 damage. Not bad, dude, not bad. So, I mean, we have to start doing something. I'm going to come in with the Storm Rider Spirit. We're probably just dead here, but, like, at the end of the day, he has, like, the full engine going, right? He has the Jadar to generate the zombie. He can sacrifice the zombie to Flesh Taker. Flesh Taker is going to get big. He's going to draw the card off the Opportunist. Like, we have to do something to win the game. We can't just sit here and decide to, like, try and block his units. That's never going to work. Can't counter our creature spells, though. That's pretty strong, am I right? Okay. He's just got the full engine happening. Aren't you I don't understand what he's doing in terms of the zombie, though. This is 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Spear, this one's done. Boo. Our white-black decks never come like that. I never get the deck. I'm surprised you didn't have like Odric out there. I just can't piece together these white-black decks that just have literally everything. You got the rare, the opportunist. You had 2 of the white-black uncommon. Maybe he was in a draft like ours where where everything was just going super late. Oh man, I have to worry about hands like this. Like if we had a mountain, we could potentially get through some of this. Counter spells are pretty turdy on the draw. Oh boy. Okay. Well, we can flip this this flame channeler with the Neonate's Rush. Maybe. Maybe if we say things like that, we can convince ourselves that this hand isn't terrible. Okay. No blocks. Dude's playing 3 colors here. I don't. We can't attack here. It can be, kind of obvious that we're up to shenanigans, but all right. Well, here's our chance for something to go right. I mean, if he has a combat trick, he has the trick. We need something to happen here. We most certainly have to be drawing cards. If we don't find an island like immediately, then this game's just done. But if this all goes right, we will look like geniuses. Okay. Need one of those island things everyone's talking about. A fun and interactive game of Magic the Gathering. Sure. What a downer. These are the kind of games that make me wish we didn't come back to playing a game that had the end deck resource system. Just like we're playing against garbage cards and did everything that we could, and through no fault of our own, we can't do anything about it. Yep. So we're dead now, even with an island. Frustrating. I just want to be able to do some of the cool stuff with this deck. Like, I get that this deck isn't any good, but like the best deck in the world isn't winning a game like that. It's like we had such a good turn too. That was so nice, getting the cycle to take down his unit, and then getting the 2-for-1 out of our bro. Frown. Okay, well, I think we can hang on to this one. I mean, God, it has 3 mana in it, and they're two of them are different colors. So it's hard for us to ask for something much better. Then let's lead with the Alchemist. We can potentially counterspell something next turn with the Hermit, if that's what things look like. So you need a blue. Yeah. Sure. Everybody's got all the flyers today. And we usually keep track of how many things we miss with the siege zombie, Thermo-Alchemist. Possibilities are endless. We could potentially mess with this thing so many times. Okay. I don't really care about any of these cards. I don't think we need to play Neonite's Rush on anything. The thing it's coming down to is like, do we want to like wait a turn for our Storm Skrillex because it's like the only good unit that we actually have? So where we can maybe counter something with the Malevolent Hermit. Doesn't have a Coven. Just like we have a lot of trouble winning the game if our Skrillex gets aced here. Like if we just wait a turn so we can protect it with the Hermit. But I really want to trade off the Hermit here. Yep. That's the problem right there. Oh, we let this tap our mana wrong. We want 2 blue here. That's a bit of a problem. Hopefully not too bad, but okay, we're doing stuff. No other way to put it. We are doing stuff. Okay, sure. All the disturbs getting discarded. Do not have an answer to that Shipwreck Sifter. Alright, well, I mean, we can do stuff here, like we can tap everything with a Wrangler and then still untap the Alchemist and maybe get a play in or something. I think this is fine. So Scab Wrangler, let's tap the Shipwreck Sifters. Then we can startle in combat if we want. Right, so we'll get to declare as attackers now. We can startle. Flip the switch, our startle. Okay. Alright, the Decayed finally resolves. Now let's get to blocking. This one, so we only take 3. Boop them. Alright, now we have 2 tokens on our Reservoir, so we can kill off one of these flyers. Looking at his hand, it's like, would we rather hold off and maybe try and like ping some 1 health units? I don't think so. Well, maybe. This looks like a good turn to use the Reservoir. And that we have the Storm Rider Spirit that we also want to play. Alright, beginning of combat. Let's tap the sifters. Same play. Candlegrove Witch can fly. That's what we're going to shoot down with the Reservoir. And then I want to block the Falcon Abomination with the Stormrider Spirit. I think. I guess it doesn't matter if he has like the white combat trick to give something indestructible. He couldn't make the Abomination indestructible, but it would still survive there. All right, well things are going okay. I mean, we're starting to make a comeback here. More flyers, dang. I could make one, I guess. We got the startle for it now, so we can protect it a little bit. Taking 3. Okay. All right, we're getting there. The stuff is slowly but surely starting to happen. We're getting our big zombie horde for the for the Scab Wrangler. All right. Oof, oof. I mean, how many spells do we have? We got we got a bunch of spells, just none of them are any good. Well, the adversary into the Neonate's Rush is, of course, good. We get to shoot down this Archive Haunt. Then I think we have to stop at that 5 mana. I mean, making this bigger than a 3/3 doesn't seem like it's really going to do anything. Choose up to 2. Oh, sweet. So it just does it? Huh. Weird. Oh, we just spent a shit ton of mana. Is why we got to do that a bunch of times. Okay. I hit auto pay and I didn't click on the stuff in the middle. I guess that makes sense. All right, well we're doing stuff now. we still have 2 taps next turn between all of our zombies. So I think we're okay. We might just be lethal next turn. If he doesn't have enough blockers for our zombies, then we can come in for an attack. Yeah, won a game. Won a game. Look at your boy. Oh, that's fun. That just rinsed all the salt from the previous games away. Oh, sweet. All right. We got our first win. We're feeling pretty good. Let's see. Let's see if we can't get another one of those. All right. Well, that's a reasonable enough start. Get the Alchemist going. So good. Against Boros, you say? Interesting. Good thing we didn't attack with our Alchemist. Okay. Kind of awkward. Nothing to do. Opponent just drew their third land though, so maybe they're back in action. I'm tempted to just like Cathartic Pyre this thing down, but I think we can give it a turn. I'll flip the switch literally any play that they have. Weird. Why didn't he play that last turn? He either just didn't play a land last turn or he didn't play his Festival Crasher last turn. Very strange. Well, not much happening, that's for certain. This can be a bit brutal if they have the combat trick, the humans are indestructible combat trick. They give it +3/+3, so he just domes us for a ton of damage. But... okay. It's tough for us to do much now. We got a dude. Look out. All right. Well, one could say that this is not good. I don't know. I don't know what else you would say about this. He tops with it. Not surprised at all. So let's see what spells we have. The good spell in Cathartic Pyre for the adversary. If we want to get 2 spells, that would cost 7 mana. It's a bit like even if we do have it. Well, even if we do have it, we can't play these cards out of our graveyard anyways. I think this is okay. Now, and say we'll see if he trades. If he wants to get like the bonus counter onto his Dread Knight, then he's gonna have to make something else happen. Can't counter my creature spells now. Okay, we'll just take 5 from this. Oh man, this would be like so reasonable if we had if we had our Thermo-Alchemist on the board. Beautiful, beautiful. That's exactly what we needed in Scab Wrangler. The only frightening thing with this is opponent is 1 mana away from flashing back this Sacred Fire. And then once the Wrangler's gone, we're not going to have answers to this stuff on board. But they did stall on land this game, it seems, so maybe they just don't have it. Maybe they do. unfortunate. We have 2 of these. Maybe we'll just we do. Maybe we'll just immediately draw our other one. Maybe we won't. Alright, well I'm looking at this as we're going to double startle this Dread Knight. He's going to get us for a point of damage. We'll get the 2 zombies. We're still going to be like short of lethal on board. But give us a shot, especially if we end up having to block next turn. How waiting our units for? Ugh, brutal. Like that dude just had all the good red spells. What a bad spot we were actually in here with the contents of our deck. Oh man, was that it? Was that the end of our draft? Oh, we're on the claim prize screen. We only got 1 win with this. Okay, well let me take a moment and get this one pulled up. Okay. So yeah, this one was fine. You know, this one was kind of for the memes. I think, you know, right from the start, we got off on the wrong foot with this Thermo-Alchemist. I was happy enough to get it and try it out for, you know, the kind of like a video kind of thing. But in general, with something like red, just I shouldn't even say a specific card. In general, I just for red. I don't want to draft it unless like if we're seeing Thermo-Alchemist at like pick 4 or pick 5. Then you have reasons to go after it because it is extremely powerful. I think in that last game that we just lost, we could have won that game if he didn't have the means to kill off our Alchemist because we could have done something with all those zombie tokens we have. But the way I'm usually looking at it is, I can't remember the name of the card. It's okay, it's Moonrager Slash. Moonrager Slash is what I look to be the big important card for anything involving red decks. If you start seeing Moonrager Slashes at like pick 5 or pick 6, then red is open and you can go for it. But otherwise, I just like try to make a hard pass on drafting red. Green isn't necessarily as bad, but we look for the same thing with green, right? If you start seeing Shadow Beast sightings in pick 6 or pick 7, then green is probably open and you can feel free to dive on in. And that was ultimately the problem with this draft, right? You can't run through drafts like this, drafting red, where like pack 2, nothing, pack 3, nothing, pack 4, nothing, pack 5, nothing. Like you have to just be hitting these like really high quality cards. And so if this was like pack 4, we're taking a Thermo-Alchemist, and then pick 5 we got like a Moonrager Slash, and then pick 6 we got the Geistflame Reservoir, then you know you're on point. Red is open and you can go for it. But we just, you know, got Mimi here and shouldn't have done it. Like realistically, the way this draft should have gone is just taking the Organ Hoarder here with pick 1, and then continue on. Our Nebelgast would have been fine. Our Bait Hook Angler would have been fine. Pick 4, we would have just gone over to Falcon Abomination, and then pick 5, Revenge of the Drowned, still fine, and then pick 6, instead of taking the Geistflame Reservoir, we could either look to take Shadow Beast Sighting, or even like Devious Cover Up. We would have just ended up with a much stronger deck had we not just ran through pack 1 just finding completely nothing. I mean, pack 2 shows us, you know, the strength in drafting some of these strategies to where we did manage to get like Flame Channeler, Bloodthirsty Adversary, Festival Crashers we kind of started to pick up. But you know, that was ultimately the big problem. And so I think, though, with blue-red, there's kind of 2 things you're looking for. Number 1, red needs to be open. And number 2, you need something like Geistflame Reservoir to kind of like really push you and solidify you in this color. Geistflame Reservoir is ridiculously strong, right? Basically, once you get to like turn 7 and turn 8, you're just spending 2 mana to draw a card every turn. Like that's an extremely good deal. If you use it to pick off a unit, like we can kill a random 3 health unit or something, fantastic. Like Geistflame Reservoir almost is enough to make me want to draft red. I still think the color is a little bit too weak for us to want to do that, but that could very much be a thing. And so, yeah, your big ones are going to be Geistflame Reservoir and Thermo-Alchemist. These are the big payoff cards. But I think the other mistake that we ended up making in here was not chasing after... what's your name? It's a little hard for me to see here. Not chasing after the Festival Crasher theme. I think we could have pieced together, something, knowing that we already had one Scab Wrangler. We were getting a bunch of Startles. We were getting some Festival Crashers, I think that's the way that we should have gone about this. Like, I kind of feel like at the end of the day, we could have had this deck to where our two drops were like the Thermo-Alchemist, um, the two Scab Wranglers. We can see it a little bit easier up here. We could see like the Alchemist, the two Scab Wranglers, and then like four Festival Crashers, and then just come out here and really look to take advantage of Startle. And I think that's the second place that we kind of failed here. Because I think a lot of our deck was pretty good. We just ended up with a bunch of, we this isn't the deck that wants to be playing things like Bait Hook Angler. We needed our spells to count a little bit more, given that we didn't have a bunch of good removal, and I think we missed out on the opportunity for this Festival Crasher / Startle deck. Otherwise, I mean, we had the tools for success here. This was a bit of a low roll, like that. That match 2 was just stupid, where we didn't draw any land. Match 1, we were just against like the Stone Nuts Aristocrats deck, and so I think it was okay the way that this played out. I wasn't expecting 7 wins out of a blue-red deck, but um, I think we at least touched on the things that can make you successful if you do end up in blue-red. But then, yeah, as we talked about this, some of this draft was just ridiculous. Like, what was this in Pack 2? Was Pack 2 not the bad one? It was Pack 3 where the dumb stuff started happening. I thought in Pack 2 we got like a pick 9 or a pick 10. Yeah, here was a pick 11 Bloodstitch Scab that we were just passing on. But see, you can see things here like seeing these Pack 8 or Pack 9 things with the Shadow Beast sightings. That could have been a potential pick there. Then this was a ridiculous one. This was the dumbest pick I've ever seen in my life. A Search Party Captain Abomination eaten alive in the deck at pick 12. Just absolutely nobody taking that. And then going to pick 13 and still seeing playables. Like that was dumb. But, alrighty. Well, that's going to do it. Let's go back and take a look at these packs real quick and see what we open up. One pack, man. Feels like we should have more packs. I know there's going to be a handful in here, but save those constructed winnings. Oh, Mythic. This guy's fine. Like if you ignore all that text on it and just think that, is a 2/1 flyer for 2 good enough with flash? Yeah, it is. And then being able to phase stuff out is nice. So he's not bad. I don't know if he'll be constructed quality, but he's definitely good in limited. Slaughter Specialist. He's okay. Vanquish the Horde. We're getting there. We're getting pretty close to just filling out Innistrad. Almost done with it. And our last one. Bloodline Calling, the big removal spell. So, that is going to do it for us today. Hope you all learned how to swim in the reservoir a little bit better. Is that what people do? You swim? That's like a lake, isn't it? It's like a man-made lake. Just full of Geistflame. You maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.